And we're live, I believe. Yes. So let's get a picture up here. Oh, we have our federal election. It's not actually taking place in October. That has to be updated. That's before the election was called. I was imagining it might take place in October. Let's correct that. Anyway, today I'm going to look up Libertarian because we have this election coming up in Canada, and there's two people. There's Mark Carney, who is a globalist, communist, who uses communism to help destroy society from inside. And then there's Pierre, who's going to give you some freedoms. To have your own house. And, those are, I don't know why I'm saying, I don't want to do that. We're going to look at a few things on Libertarian because I keep seeing Maxime Bernier saying that Pierre is just the same as Carney, which I find confusing. But I suppose at base, what he's talking about is we'll still be under government authority. I'm going to put a light on me, sort of, maybe. Nope, no light. We turned off the lights. I have to pull away from the computer to put the light on, so nee. We got window light, and that's it. Let's go to the phone to see if this podcast is working. I want to do the full screen. There we go. Hello, everybody. Keith's in the background. Well, you can't see him, but he's just off to the side there. So you'll hear him in the background occasionally.
I might have to blow my nose.
He might.
And leave the room.
You're going to hear the most astonishing nose blowing you've ever heard. Okay. He's got a bit of a cold. Where am I? I'm going to look at so I'm still on YouTube, which might be a bit archaic here. Yeah, okay. That's my channel. Art by Lisa. We may be streaming to that channel. Let's see if we can figure this out. I haven't figured it out yet. How do we get there? Lord Jesus, is this what I'm supposed to be doing with my time? Is there something else I ought to be doing with my time? Yes, of course. Seek the kingdom with all your heart, mind, and soul. So this says on this channel that I streamed 1 month ago. Live. Let's go to live. Yeah. So, no, this is not. That is not the place I want to go. I need to change accounts on my phone. which is very confusing. Are you confused? I'm confused too. So go here, switch account. There we go. There's Ellie Figby. It says I have 2 subscribers. And is this where I'm streaming? I need to write this down. It says I was live 3 days ago. Okay, so that isn't it. That isn't it. That is not it. Stop streaming says we're streaming somewhere. Okay, let's go to the email. Let's go to the emails and see if we can figure this out. Let's go to my Gmail. This is clearly not the way to do it. Gmail. The way I'm doing this is clearly not the way to do it. Where's my Gmails? So Libertarian, trying to get to the work. Nothing here. Nothing here. Change accounts. It's not in that Gmail. And then they're going to want a password. They're going to say, nope, didn't happen. Okay, it's not here. No. 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 Let's go to a different one. Where are you streaming to? Well, it's got to be here. It's got to be this one. Ah, now live on your YouTube. It's this one. Okay, let's go have a look and see if the sound is working. I bet the sound's not working. No, the sound won't be working because I don't have the right setting on. All right, I didn't have the right setting on. It should be working now. Let's have a look. All right, I didn't have the right setting on. It should be working now. And it's fuzzy. Why is it fuzzy? Let's have a look. Anyway, that is working. I'm going to put a like on there. One like. It should be working now. And it's fuzzy. Why is it fuzzy? Let's have a look. Okay, I'm turning that off. The sound sounds pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And the picture is fuzzy. Probably my computer can't handle it. So let's go look at what libertarian is. That's right. The first few minutes was a no sound. Okay, so here we are streaming. I'm gonna shrink this down. Yes. And then we're gonna go, we looked up libertarian. All right, so libertarian, we're going to Wikipedia, of course, which we'll be able to start there. What I'm gonna do is straighten out my desktop a bit. There we go. So I can read about libertarianism. So Maxime Bernier keeps saying Pierre's not the answer, which we all think he is. The liberals, they want the decriminalization of sex work. Yeah, that's right. I remember that at university. They were like, nah, sex for money. This is very hard on a society. If you have people having sex for money instead of love. But anyway. What? This is the libertarian. Okay, it's got a bunch of words. Let me see if I can get this up here so you can see it too. My mic is a little bit high because my table's a little bit high. So I'll just move that out of the way. Okay. All right, we're gonna get that up there now. No, it didn't really come up. I guess my picture is. Thanks for watching. Not yet. We're not going there yet. Thanks for watching. There it is. We have to make this bigger because I can't see. Sorry, I banged my mic. Well, let's go to browser 1. There, that's all right. What about browser 2? Is that better? Podcast topic. Screen capture. Properties. It always goes to the antivirus. Libertarianism. There we go. Well, there you go. We got it up there. Let's go back and see what the video looks like. Okay. Let's play it. I want to listen to it again. Anyway, that is working. I put a like on there. One like. There's a bit of an echo. Why is it fuzzy? Let's have a look. Okay, whenever I don't know what the answer to that is, play something on my computer, the mic picks it up, I guess, even though I have my headset on. That's fine. That's my cup of tea. Hitting the table. Okay. Okay. I got it. I got it. Just a minute, you guys. Oh, that's the cough. Well, there's an anarchist in there. Right over here. Can you see my pointer now? Yes, you can. Cool. Okay, it's got a lot of concepts. Freedom of speech, freedom of thought, gift economy, homestead principles, legalism, individualism, individualist, feminism, individual, anyway, liberal, it goes on, workers' self-management, abortion, affirmative action. What's it say about abortion? Libertarian perspective on abortion. Promote individual liberty and seek to minimize the role of the state. The abortion debate is mainly within pro-libertarianism, right liberationism between cultural liberals and social conservatives, as left libertarians generally see it as a settled issue regarding individual rights, but they're not thinking about the baby's rights. They don't think about the baby's rights, so it's not Christian in that sense, where you're supposed to protect the most vulnerable, and the most vulnerable, who could be more vulnerable than a baby in the womb? Okay, so that's not, no, I don't think so. I think, sure, you can go against God's laws and do murder, which is what it is, which I don't advise. Because God knew you before he knit you together in the womb. Imagine if your mother had decided, oh, couldn't be bothered, or decided it was going to cost too much money or be too much work to have a baby. Religious right. Okay, there we go. The religious right, which the Christians, political faction characterized by their strong support of socially conservative and traditionalist policies. Christian conservatives seek to influence politics and public policies with their interpretation of God's word to us. Okay, it's not a neutral. It's not neutral position to be Christian. It's following Jesus and the Lord God who created us. So I'm not going to be a libertarianism. I'm not going to be a libertarianism. Is not going to work. I'm a Jesus follower and a Christian. So libertarianism, I guess this is just our first look. This is just Wikipedia. Let's see what else we got besides Wikipedia. There's all kinds of stuff to look up, but anyway. Britannica, the Adam Carolla Show. See, I can't really listen to videos without getting that echo, and I don't know exactly what to do about it. Let me look at my settings here for sound. Monitor off, monitor off, monitor off. What else? Monitor only. Mute output. don't know. Will that? Oh, okay. Will that help? That might help. Let's give it a go. Because we can listen in when we start to play. So let's pick this one. Wait. To close the settings. So I just put monitor output only. We're going to look at Libertarian Explained.
You are a longtime libertarian, perhaps an anarcho-capitalist. We can talk about that. Can you explain the different variants, flavors of libertarianism and where you stand among those variants?
Yeah, so there's almost like anything, like with left-wing schools of thought or right-wing schools of thought, there's many different camps and different thinkers. And so within the kind of broader theme of libertarianism, there was a lot of influence from people like Ayn Rand, Milton Friedman, Thomas Sowell. Those were, I think, some of the more mainstream figures. And then there's kind of like the Ron Paul brand of libertarianism, which is kind of distinct from that other camp, where they're much more of an emphasis on foreign policy. All of them kind of fall into the radical minarchist points of view. And then there's Rothbardian anarcho-capitalist. Then there's also like David Friedman, who's an anarcho-capitalist, but from a completely different perspective than Murray Rothbard. I would probably be I'm most closely like with the Rothbard school, which is very similar to Ron Paul, but even maybe a little bit further in that, the very little bit of government that Ron Paul might support.
All right, we're at a point where we have a lot of a government. Let's see. Hey, I'm having a hard time. This seems to think 22 minutes. Okay. I want to open this, but it's not opening. It's on my phone. Let's see if I can. I had it up here. Ah, there it is. Let's have a look. It's on my phone. Let's see if I can. I had it up here. Ah, there it is. Let's have a look. It's on my phone. Let's see if I can. I had it up here. Ah, there it is. Let's have a look. All right, the sound is very quiet. So I need to speak up or turn up the sound somehow. Okay, I'm turning that off. So I think it's okay, but the sound is a bit low. Even though I have it topped out in the audio mixer. Okay, let's go to the aux mic. Here, let's look at properties. USB condenser microphone. I was listening to these guys who have awesome audio, some kind of filter, I suppose, or they have, anyway, it was just really good. We could play with the properties. Let's go over here. And there is a way to increase the sound. How about that? How about we pump it up by 12 decibels? Yeah. So that's how you could do it. That's like way up there now. And then I turn it down over here. Why? Hello? Testing, testing. What just happened? Did I change the setting? All right, we're going to have to go here. We're going to have to go back over here and listen. I never did it this way before. I always tried to do it on my phone. Hello? Oh, this has to get playing. Up there now. And then I turn it down over here. Why? Hello? Testing. Nope, too quiet. What just happened? Too quiet. Did I change the setting? All right. We're going to have to go here. We're going to have to go back over here and listen. I never did it this way before. I always tried to do it on my phone. Hello? Oh, this has to get playing. Up there now. And then I turn it down over here. Why? Hello? Yeah, it's not loud enough. Okay, we're going to bring this back up again. It was so loud for a second. Let's listen. Hello? Hello? Cough came in good. Okay. Why am I not hearing it? I'm not hearing anything. Yeah, it's not loud enough. Okay, we're going to bring this back up again. It was so loud for a second. Is that? Listen. Is that them? Hello? Hello? Cough came in good. All right, let's close this out. Why am I not hearing it? Okay, so that's the sound I'm going to use. I think. This is the sound. Okay, so that's the sound I'm going to use. I think. No, I could turn that up a little more. It's quite loud in my headset. Oh, it says only. Okay. That's the sound I'm going to use. I think. What? No, I could turn that up a little more. It's quite loud in my headset. Okay, that's better. How's that? Can you hear me now? I can hear me. I'm like yelling in my own headset. Not yelling. That's better. How's that? Can you hear me now? I can hear me. I'm like yelling in my own headset. Yeah, that's super good. Okay, let's turn this. But then I'm like clipping, you know? So if I turn it down so I'm not clipping, am I still loud enough? How's that? Can you hear me now? I can hear me. I'm like yelling in my Yeah, that's super good. Okay, let's turn this. But then I'm like clipping, you know? So if I turn it down so I'm not clipping, am I still loud enough? No. Can you hear me now? You're not still loud enough. Okay. Okay, I don't know what else. Yeah, that's super good. Okay, let's turn this. But then I'm like clipping, you know? So if I turn it down so I'm not clipping. We're turning it off again. And we'll come back to it in a minute. All right, libertarianism is not the answer. Following God and Jesus seems like a much better way to have a society. And of course, America is getting back to its Christian roots, one nation under God. And I believe Canada can do the same under Pierre. So the libertarian cry that we're not free enough is not it may be true. We may not be free enough. We definitely have too much government under the Liberals right now. If we can get a government in that cuts everything back, there may be a reason to have it. What I would do is when we elect Pierre, I would go to Bernier or go to the Libertarians, but Bernier perhaps wants a position, and ask him, and I don't know if Canadians would trust him, but ask him to do recommendations for a cleanup of our spending, of all the laws and everything, just like Doge. So that's my recommendation. That's my recommendation, everybody. Okay, so we're still alive. We've sorted out libertarianism. I'm sure there's more to think about in that. Let's have a look and see how my sound plays. Of our spending, of all the laws and everything, just like Doge. So that's my recommendation. That's my recommendation, everybody. All right, the audio's still not loud enough. Not loud enough. Why isn't the audio loud enough? Why isn't the audio loud enough? Why is it back down again? Oh, because I get it. When I move the pointer, it goes down. Okay. Now we've got it clipping way up. And then I move it back down and it's quiet again. Okay. Wow, this is complicated. What am I doing wrong? Anyway, that's the sound. Let's have a listen again. Because I'm listening to it through my headphones and my OBS setting, what I can do is, I know what I'll do. I'll remove the OBS setting momentarily, which is how I record, and I'll just put it on headset. Now we've got it clipping way up. Anyway, that's the sound. Let's have a listen again. Because I'm listening to it through my headphones and my OBS setting, what I can do is, I know what I'll do. I'll remove the OBS setting momentarily, which is how I record, and I'll just put it on headset. All right, we're back to OBS, and it's quite loud in my headset. I wonder. So that's an Apple problem. We're going to close out now the thing. We're going to stop. I don't have anything else lined up for today, so we're going to stop.